depending on your process conditions, you have to choose what is the best way of working out your this thing. You can work out almost anything. I mean, anything means like this. You have to understand which is the best arrangement for a given application. And for that, it depends on the performance curves as well as the process conditions that are at hand. Saji, we'll move to the
yes.
ISIS. Okay. So to recap, yeah. One second, sir. I'll just have a glass of water.
All right. So this is your file.
Yeah, middle of it. Okay. Yeah. So this is a case where I think this is a normal shutdown. So when you build a compressor model, the kind of information that you need to have is, one, you need to have your equipment volumes. That is where you, because remember in HYSYS, what HYSYS is doing is that it is only a thermodynamic solver. It is only interested in the volumes. You can put pipes and which it will do the hydraulics, but for the dynamic simulation analysis, it's the volumes which really matter finally. So when you give your diameter, height, when you do your equipment sizing, line sizing and all that, the value that is actually going into the simulation is the volume. So in this case, it's 28.67 meter cube. So that in this case, it's the volume. For coolers, what we do is you not only give, you not only give the cooler volume. After you size an air cooler, you put the volume here. That is the volume of the tubes. That is pi by 4 d square L, the diameter of the inner diameter of the tube and length of the tube multiplied by the number of tubes. You can put that volume here, but you must also give what is called a K value. K is a loss coefficient. It is basically the dynamic head. kV square by 2g value. kV square by 2g, if you convert it to mass flow rate terms, mass flow rate terms, it is nothing but mass flow rate divided by square root of pressure drop into density. What does this mean? What this means is that in steady state, when you are doing a steady state, you are giving the pressure drop. So let's say cooler has 0.5 bar pressure drop. In HYSYS steady state, you will open the cooler and you will say 0.5 bar here and 0.5 bar, you'll say 0.5 and tap, you just give the, but then you see in steady state, you're doing a heat and material balance. So let's say you have 1000 kg per hour flowing. What you're doing is you're simply putting 0.5 there. You're declaring it as 0.5. But let's say if this 1000 became 1000, if the flow rate went from 1000 to 1200 kg per hour, the pressure drop will not be 0.5. The pressure drop will can become 0.55 or 0.6. So the purpose of putting this K value, loss coefficient, is depending on the flow rate. If the flow rate is changing, so in this case right now, I think it is about 57,000 kg per hour. Let's say if this went from 57,000 kg per hour, it became 60,000 kg per hour. Using this K value, HYSYS will calculate what is the new pressure drop. So instead of 0.35, it can become 0.36 or 0.37. It will increase. So for the cooler, you have to put the K value and you have to put the volumes as well. K value, you can compute it as based on, so let's say this was a heat and material balance you're doing, and you put let's say 0.330, let's say. See, it will automatically calculate the K value. After that, what you do, you switch the bound, you switch it to this thing. So if I increase the flow rate increases, this 0.3 can become higher, 0.32. Or in case the flow rate decreases, the pressure drop will also come down from 0.3 to 0.29 or 0.28, like that. So therefore, For the coolers, the important piece of information is not only the volumes, which is because the process fluid, the compressor fluid is flowing through the tubes. Therefore, you put the tube volume here, total tube volume. You also put the loss coefficient value here, and it will automatically compute what is the pressure drop across the cooler. Then, for all the check valves, okay, check valve is anyway, you just have to click on this check valve. For the check valve, because it is assumed that you're not losing much pressure there. So what you do is you give a very high CV value, some 100,000 or 200,000 something you can give. So what happens is that the estimated pressure drop is 0.0005. It's all as good as hardly any pressure drop. In reality, in the field, there will be some pressure drop, but for simulation purposes, we are approximating it to almost no pressure losses. So for check valves and block valves also, both check valves and block valves give a high CV value. By giving a high CV value, because you see, if they're all full bore valves, if you look into the pipe, so you have a pipe and you have a valve, if it is open and you look through it, the valve's opening is also is the same as the pipe's opening. So in such cases, you can give a high CV to say that there is hardly any pressure drop across the pipe. So check valves and block valves, you don't have to you just approximate it to almost no pressure drop. For the suction scrubbers, you have to give the volume. For the air cooler, you have to give the volume and also the loss coefficient. Then for the gas compressor, naturally, you have to put your performance maps. You need to have three pieces of information. You need to have your polytropic head for a given volumetric flow rate and also polytropic efficiency. So these three parameters you need to have, and for each speed you enter them here. Now, if you observe, this is the actual data from this 2638. This is the actual data. But then what are these 2 points? This was manually entered. But then what are those 2 points? That is this region that you're looking at, okay, stone wall, and oh, it is not shown here. Okay, fine. So this region, these dots that are there, this is given by the manufacturer. This is given by the manufacturer. But then you're doing your simulation in HYSYS, and what HYSYS does is, as it keeps moving inside the envelope, it will keep interpolating between each point when it does a calculation. But let's say the point came somewhere here. HYSYS does not know what to do. So what we do is that we simply add some points here. The reality is that these curves are like polynomial. What we are doing is we are just straightening it out. So the idea of extending these lines is for computational reasons, no other reason, is to prevent the simulation from crashing. So do extend the lines when you know that the operating, when you feel that when you know for sure that the results are not too accurate. When you're doing a shutdown, it's the operating point will start flying in all the different directions like this. When you do an actual simulation, what happens is the moment it crosses this surge line, it will go up and down like this, flying up in the air. If you don't want that to happen, extend these lines to the X and Y axis. So that way it is at least, it knows its boundary conditions when it is computing. That is the next thing. So therefore, you must, for the gas compressor, you have to have your performance maps. Next, for the ASV, when you're sizing it, please remember it is the vendor who decides what the ASV size should be. But let's say you're in the proposal stage or you're in the front end stage where the manufacturer still has not given you data, but you have to do at least tentatively what size of a CV do you have to put. You can estimate, but you must share those results with the compressor vendor, because he gives you the guarantee and warranty. It is his piece of machinery, and he has the final say as to what should be the anti-surge valve size. Now, in this, Sarji, that PDF file, can you just show some of the material? Yeah, if you come down, I've given a procedure here. how to size your anti-surge valve. You can do it by, by hand, means on Excel. Oh, it's stuck. Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay, this is for settle out conditions, how you can calculate, estimate. So I've given a procedure here for how to estimate this thing, your anti-surge valve size. So in this case, I think I've got, oh, it's running too slow. Anyway, the file is with you, so you can go through it. So in this case, I did one sample calculation where I think I've said finally a CV of 112.721 or 113. No, wait. Okay, so you choose a valve of some 236 CV, and then with that valve size, I did a dynamic simulation. Now, even this is going very close to the choke flow region. The data, I took it from the valve data